Welcome back, guys. This is the last Friday of November, and once again, we are with our registered migration agent, Mr. Saurabh Smar, and going to talk about the migration updates and as well as a few good news which Mr. Saurabh Smar is going to share with us. I'm your host of the day, Ankur Saini, and our registered migration agent, Mr. Saurabh Smar, is with us. Hi, Saurabh. How are you?
Thank you so much, Ankur, for a lovely introduction. And also, I would like to let our viewers know as well. As usual, you guys have known both of us. So my name is Saurabh Smar. I'm a registered migration agent, and we also have Ankur with us. So we work together, and so we are part of a team. And his name is Ankur Saini, and he usually hosts our shows, and he's a wonderful host. And so, yes, it's a beautiful sunny afternoon in Melbourne, Victoria.
Indeed.
Today we will be discussing, a lot of new updates by the department about temporary graduate visa extensions, global talent visas, some concession arrangements that has been made for 457 or 482 visa holders. So there's going to be a bit of information session this one. And what I would recommend our viewers as well that this is just for education purpose only. And if you do want to seek some professional advice as depending upon your own circumstances, I would say take some advice from a registered migration agent, and so that you can actually get the correct information and get the right information all the time. And another thing that I would also like to let our viewers know as well that kindly share this video, let with your friends and families. Probably you might not need assistance right now, but there will be someone who probably would need this kind of assistance in the near future.
Thank you, Saurabh. Saurabh, one thing before starting the session, I can ask you that I can see a couple of good bottles just around the corner of your
Ah,
bookshelf. So I think with my clothes, I can assume that is Johnny Walker, right?
yes, it is exactly two Johnny Walker Blue labels, and
Beautiful.
as you can see, it's actually either they you can see this one of them is actually subclass 186 direct entry nomination approval. So that's our client, when they're happy, they actually provide us, they gift us all this stuff. And another one is GTI. So as you can see, the results are out there.
No, results are out there, and I am
Exactly.
yet to be invited, right?
Yeah, absolutely, you're always invited.
Right, Saurabh. You were supposed to share some of the good news, which you actually haven't shared with me yet. So, would you mind sharing the good news with me along with our viewers today?
Okay. So the news is actually we have received a GTI this evening. That was pretty much 45 minutes before this live session, and that is actually for a mining and energy sector. So so we actually were able to link this with our the kind of work that our client has done, and it took at least up to 5 weeks to receive that invitation. It was launched early October, so early October, so say for example around 5 to 6 weeks to get that invitation. And so a happy client, so they received successful GTI invitation. Their salary was around 155,000. Plus, they also were actually a well achiever. They received really good GPA score in their though the client did master of data analytics, but they actually were working. They got an opportunity to work as a data analyst in an energy sector. So we were able to link it with the energy technology. So that was the reason how that invitation got through. And that the most important thing what I can see for the with the global talent visa is how you can present yourself, to the department. If you have the sometimes a lot of times people they do have capabilities, they don't know about it, and they could not present themselves in a proper way to the department, the way the department want to see them, and then they actually end up getting not getting the GTI request. Sometimes they get knocked back and those kind of stuff. So this is pretty much what I would say is that GTI is actually a good opportunity for a lot of people right now. You don't need to do any skill assessment. There is no professional year required. You don't need to do NATI. Only functional English, which is like 4.5. That's what's required. And a lot of people can actually get through to that GTI requirement.
That's a fabulous news, Saurabh. Thank you for sharing with all of us. And I just couldn't believe that you can keep the secrets for about 45 minutes in your stomach.
Yeah, that's why I so wanted to start the session early, but don't want to do it before 6 because we do have some people who actually finish work around 6 and stuff.
Mhm.
And we do get some viewers who normally watch our videos afterwards. They were not able to join us at 6, so they normally watch our videos afterwards where we do explain. They get to know what information we have provided. So these videos are also recorded. I just want information to our viewers that you can actually access this information, this video afterwards as well on our Facebook page. And I would say you can, like our Facebook page if you have not, or and subscribe as well so that you can get up to date updates in regards to Australian migration.
Thank you very much, Saurabh. So it's a request from our registered migration agent, Mr. Saurabh Smart, that if you not yet liked our page, please go like the page and subscribe it. Reason being because in these videos, if it's not even related to you, but these videos, the information which we are actually sharing can help someone else. And as said by Mr. Saurabh Smart, that yes, today is a lucky day for us as a team. That yes, we received one of the GTI invitation,
Invitation.
and
Yeah.
yep, and it was just in miraculously just 5 weeks. So Saurabh, once you'll be lodging the visa, how much time do you think that the visa is going to be granted?
Okay. So the best part about this GTI visa is that this is the quickest visa that we have ever seen. So the moment we launch this visa, within a couple of hours, the department actually, the case officer gets allocated, and then they request for medicals and everything. And if someone's got, because as you know, currently in Victoria, we're having some kind of issues in booking medical dates. We're not able to get enough support from Bupa or other medical centers because there has been a really big backlog due to the stage 4 restrictions were in place in Victoria. So as soon as the medical's done, probably they can get the outcome maybe in a day or so.
Beautiful.
Had these clients already had the medicals and the police clearances and all, they probably could get the outcome like maybe say in the same day, the day we lodge the application itself. Because this is a very you can say a premium level of visa for permanent residency. And then there are case officers and all who have been allocated specifically for this stream who wait until someone actually lodge the visa so that they can process it quicker. And because they have a budget as well, like they have increased the budget to 15,000, so that means there's plenty of places available for them.
So that means there is a lot of spaces are available, and as said, even in our past videos or the conversation in our live sessions, that if you've got that sort of talent, if you'll be able to secure yourself a good job, or if you are actually in a good job with a threshold of $1,55,000, then yes, Mr. GTI himself is sitting here. He'll surely going to help you out.
um, that's a funny joke. It's not always about whether you're making that much money. You department also wants to see if you're not making that much money, if you have the capability of making that much money. Okay, if you have that kind of capacity to make that much money, then obviously you can get that GTI invitation as well. So those are the things that you have to be very careful about, like the way you present yourself. And yeah, so that's pretty much all that I can actually say. If and I just want to say that if you think you have the capability, or you are actually in this kind of, you do meet this kind of requirements or criteria, you can call on the number which is 04300 and then we can actually assess your situation and then see whether you are actually do meet those requirements or not, and then we can guide you accordingly.
Thank you very much for stealing my line, which is
Hmm.
the phone number. Anyways, thank you very
Uh,
much for giving this information, Saurabh, that even though if the applicant is actually having a job, or even if the person, the applicant, is having the futuristic job, say suppose that he after getting the permanent residency through GTI visa, if he's claiming or she is claiming that yes, in the occupation or in her or her his field, they'll be able to claim the job, which is like more than the threshold, that can also be considered, right?
Absolutely. So they just want to see if you, you have the capability of meeting that big threshold, or what kind of skills that you actually have. So if you look for there are a lot of ways to do that as well. Like, there are some kind of job offers, job opportunities available on LinkedIn. How is your LinkedIn profile, etc.? So those are the things that GTI officers, they do look into as well. They do search those kind of stuff, whether your LinkedIn profile is up to date, whether you have been endorsed, those kind of things. So I would say it's like we can certainly look into that, and then we can guide you individually based on your own scenario.
So, applicants, if you're actually having any sort of questions with regards to your personalized situation, you can give Saurabh Smar a call on the number which is 04300 We are moving forward with the recent state nomination updates, which everyone is actually after. The applicants, those who are after the GSM visa, which is 189, 190, and 491. Saurabh Smar, would you mind please taking us through the path of Victoria state nomination updates, please?
Perfect. So apparently Victoria says that, as you know, they are going to push towards investments and businesses. They normally say that, that we want people to actually come to Australia and open their businesses, etc., do investments in Victoria. So from 30th of November, from this Monday, 9 a.m. onwards, they are actually going to open a subclass 188C, which is a significant investment nominations. Okay. So because they do have received some interim allocation by the department, and they actually, so I'll mix it up with South Australia. Okay, South Australia, what they have said recently is that they have not been allocated places by the federal government yet, the new places for the financial year.
Okay.
They still have interim places. So what Victoria has done is they did had some leftovers from their interim places. They have not received new places from Department of Home Affairs yet. So what they're going to do is they are using those interim places, and then they're going to actually use those places for significant investment. But you know that significant investment is subclass 188C, and where people have to invest at least $5 million. So that's a very
Oh,
big amount,
very,
and
very
and
huge.
those people, yeah. So those investments. So for example, if any of our viewers are listening, you don't actually have to show any investment experience as well. Okay, so if you have wealthy parents, and your relatives or someone who willing to put in $5 million for you, you just have to invest that into venture funds. There is a proper because Australia investment market is very regulated, and you have to invest it safely, using a finance funding manager. And the funding manager job is actually to locate those funds for you, which will prove beneficial for you down the track. So that is one thing. That's what it is. That's subclass 188C, and Victoria has only opened for those occupation, for those visas. They have not opened. So currently, still 190 and 491 are still closed, and the other ones, say 188A, 188B, and 188E streams, 132A, 132B, they still are closed, and until further notice, because even though the budget was allocated in the month of September,
Mhm.
but federal government has not allocated places to different states. That's exactly what South Australia has actually said that as well. So that was the update from Victoria. No 491 or 190 as yet, but they are starting to accept applications for 188C. In regards to South Australia also said the same thing today itself, this afternoon, that they actually have not received the full allocation of nomination places for the new financial year. And therefore, they are not in a position to open it completely. They still have some interim, some
Mhm.
seats left, and they will be inviting people based on that. And they are encouraging all the people who think that they do meet the state requirements, to see how they can actually meet Australia's, and as well as state government's critical skills. And if you think that you do meet those critical skills, I would say contact us now. because there is a way, you can actually contact South Australian government, show them that look, my skills are actually quite critical to your to the post COVID-19 recovery and all those stuff. And there is a good chance where they can actually nominate you using those interim places that they have been allocated prior. So once they say, even though if they won't nominate you right now, but what the South Australia would do is they're going to nominate you afterwards when they have actually received those extra places, moving forward.
Oh,
So that
okay.
is one thing. So that's actually one thing what I would say is another thing. And as you know, NSW updates were actually out last week. And what they have done is previously, the day they actually updated is they said that um, if someone is living outside NSW, they would need a job offer, 5 years of work experience, and all those stuff. But what they have now changed that to is if you are living outside regional NSW, okay? So if you are living in Sydney, in NSW itself, you can actually provide a job offer and then in a regional area, and then you can apply for that. Same the way you used to be in Victoria. If you're living in Melbourne, you can get a job offer from Geelong and apply for 491 as well. Um, Plus, another thing that is, say, for example, if you are living in regional NSW and you cannot get a you and you know how the requirement is, if you're living in NSW regional, you need to show that you've been working for at least 12 months or you've been living there for at least 12 months. What they have actually updated is if you are in there, you are living in regional NSW, provide us with a job offer. If you get a job offer, you can actually get the 491 outcome as well. But that depends upon which RDA or which state authority, which RDA authorities actually have your occupation in their list. So that is what the state nomination updates as of now. There hasn't been any other updates from different states. Western Australia is still closed. As you know, WA has shut down their borders as well from with other states. So pretty much we don't know until when they're gonna open or how long they're gonna keep it closed.
Well, this is very surprising because all the states, or most of the states, they were actually coming up. They should have actually come up with the requirements by the end of November, but still no updates, which is very very surprising. And every applicant, they are just waiting for these states to give them the opportunity to lodge their expression of interest, isn't it, Saurabh?
Absolutely. As you know, we do receive a lot of phone calls from, different candidates who are actually looking forward to states to open that up quickly. And apparently, we cannot give them a right answer because we are relying on states to actually open it as soon as possible. And as South Australia said that they're going to open it at the end of September moved to end of October, and then this is already end of November. So now this afternoon they actually updated on their website that look, this is the reason why we are not actually opening it up because we are yet to receive full allocation for the new financial year. And
Hmm.
that is the reason why we cannot open the full migration program.
So, do you think that any chance, any chance in the coming near future, like in month of December, are they going to give any sort of Christmas treat to the applicants?
Look, we never know. There could be the case where they can actually, have this kind of option available, where they can, there could be where they say that, look, we have these kind of options available. You can actually, by the end of December, because that's what happened last year. If you do remember, from November 19, that's where, things were actually different, where the 491 visa came in place, and then from 20th, or I think that was from 21st of November, Victoria opened their 491 and 190 last
Yeah.
year, and people were start submitting the applications and everything. Um, and so that could be the case as well, but we don't know. It seems it's already end of November, and there's another 3 more weeks till Christmas, and then during the early Christmas time, like 15th or 20th December onwards, a lot of government offices they do actually close for
Yeah.
business. They don't. So probably it could push to the new year, but let's do not lose hope, and let's wish that they probably look into it in the in next month, in the next few weeks time, maybe early December, you never know.
Thank you very much, Saurav, for giving us this assurance or the advice that don't disheart yourself. The news is yet to be there, and if there is no news, there is always a good news, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, moving forward, there is actually some sort of new updates with our so-called TR visa subclass 485 temporary graduate visa extension updates. So, Mr. Saurabh Sumar, our
Yeah.
registered migration agent, is going to take it from now on, and then he's going to give us the updates. What are the updates, Saurabh?
Okay, so there has been an update in regards to the temporary graduate visa, subclass 485, post-study work stream, okay? Not the graduate stream. So be very careful. We are talking about post-study work stream. A lot of people get confused that if the graduate work stream was also would get the new extension, etc. But that's only for post-study work stream. And as of now, we don't know because the legislation has not been released yet.
Mm-hmm.
So what they are saying is that if you have been graduated from a regional education institution and have lived in regional Australia on your temporary graduate visa, you could be eligible for your second temporary graduate visa,
Mm-hmm.
and you have to remain in the regional area for the duration of your new temporary graduate visa as well. So it's also what they're also saying is for actually international students who have actually studied at a regional campus of a metropolitan university. So you are also eligible. And say, for example, what they have done is that if you are actually studying in a regional area, say, for example, if you have studied in Geelong, or if you're, so if you, there are different categories. So if you have studied in a major regional center, then you can get up to 1 year of extension. Okay. But if you have lived in a regional centers or other regional areas, so not major regional centers, but the other normal regional centers, such as say Ballarat or Bendigo, then you can get up to 2 years. So this is the kind of an that incentive that they have actually provided for international students who have actually currently on a temporary graduate visa. Their visa is about to expire, so they can actually eligible for this kind of option as well. And when it comes to when it comes to this temporary graduate visa, as you know, Perth, Western Australia, South Australia, Gold Coast, ACT, Canberra. So all these states are actually regional centers. So they're regional, major regional, as well as other regional centers as well. Northern Territory is completely a whole regional. So what I would say is that they can actually be eligible to apply for if you have studied there, lived there now on your 485. You could be eligible for another 485 for at least 1 to 2 years, and it's only for post study work stream. So if you have studied bachelor level above, so those are the people, and then we can do it.
Beautiful. Thank you very, very much for the updates on temporary graduate visa. Let's move forward. Before starting the session, you said that there was some sort of arrangements for visa 457 and 482 visa holders as well. So, would you mind please enlighten us with regards to those changes as well?
Okay, sweet. So if you are one of the subclass 457 who are in from transitional arrangements, or you are on a 482 visa, so you could also be eligible for some concessions. Because as you know, Ankur, a lot of people on a 482 visas, they are on MLT SSL stream. They got a 482 for 4 years, and then they want to apply for their permanent residency, which is 186 direct entry or transition stream. As per transition stream, you would need to work for your employer for at least 3 years full time. And as you know, due to the COVID-19, a lot of businesses were impacted, where the businesses were actually shut down. And what the government has done is they have actually made some concessional arrangements. So those arrangements are quite extensive, and I cannot explain all those details up on the video today itself, because it would take at least an hour to go through all the requirements. But
Mm-hmm.
what I would say is that there is some concessions available for people who were actually impacted due to the COVID-19 and who currently hold 457 or 482 visas. That what does that mean is that you can actually be eligible for for 457, 482, I mean 186 direct entry, or even for 186 TRTS stream. Either seek assistance, or you can drop us a message, and then we probably can look into it and then see whether you do meet those concessional arrangements or not.
So, viewers, if you're actually having any sort of questions related to your personalized situation, migration situation, I must have to say, you can call or be in touch with our registered migration agent, Mr. Saurabh Smar, on the number which is 04300 Now, moving forward, the last session or the section of this session is live
Hmm.
questions and answers. And we've got Mr. Mohammed Naeem. Hi, Naeem, how are you? And thank you for being a regular listener. And the question is, thanks for efforts made and for keeping us updated on a weekly basis. Thank you very much. I am at 90 points, software engineer in New South Wales without job experience points, and thinking of moving to Canberra and study 1 year and work 1 year in any field to increase my points to 70 points. Do you think that Canberra will be a good option for IT people struggling in New South Wales with higher points, or Canberra might change their rules or remove IT occupations from its critical list? Thank you very much. Well,
Okay, thank you so much, Mohammed, for your comment. And yes, we do put an effort to actually provide simplified information to our viewers every week, every Friday 7 p.m. So what I can see in regards to your situation is, what you can do is, currently you are you are a software engineer at 90 points. As you know, as an ICT occupation, there's a thousands of people who can get 90 points very easily. So if you are 25-year-old, you did Master of Information Technology, you did your 8H, you got NATI, and you did PY, and you are single, you will get 90 points. That is for sure. For what actually makes the difference is the extra 5 points from your work experience. And as you know, software engineer is actually a priority occupation. And if you do find an employer, even though if you, what I would say is work at least 20 hours per week, start as a part-time employment. Don't look for full-time yet. Start with part-time, and probably you can use the 20 hours per week for your employer-sponsored visas down the track for 482 or for 407 for other visas as well. So those are the things that you have to be very careful. When it comes to Canberra, as you know, Canberra is a very it's the smallest territory, and Canberra normally only get like less than 1,500 nomination places. That's how many they received last time. There were 1,200 491 and 200 190. And if you think that that because they have very small number, they probably look into their program very quite often, and they are quite dynamic in changing their skill list and all. And there could be a chance that, look, if you do go there, study for 1 year, trying to show increase Canberra matrix points, etc., but you end up losing those by the time you reach 70. Now the point threshold has gone up. But since if you are in New South Wales, what I would say is NSW 491 is a good option. Either start looking for employment in that area, probably pretty much in Wollongong or in Orange, around that area. You probably be better off in staying in regional NSW than moving on to Canberra, because Canberra is pretty much is actually a good option for people with partners, with skilled partners as well. So if your partner has a skill assessment, your partner is working, you are working, partner can get extra 5 points. If they can get 7 each, they will get extra 10 points. So those are the things you have to be very mindful of that as well. So even though as an individual you will get higher points as a single, but when it comes to Canberra matrix points, people with in a relationship, if they move to Canberra with their partners, they get extra points as well. So those are the things that you need to be very careful.
thank you very, very much, Saurabh, for answering the question. I feel a little sad about the efforts for the applicants, like they are put in and they are moving one state and then they are actually changing the other state. It's like It's like you're actually running and running and running, but you're not getting a shelter where you can actually stay upon.
Yes. So what I can see is a lot of people they do they lack a planning. That's what important is. If even though if you do start your course or you study something, you need to start planning from the day you will land in Australia, what your goals are, etc. And that is where, and also I would say a role of a migration agent is very important as well in helping out people to actually get their permanent residency, etc. If you cannot get permanent residency, or there could be options where you actually have not paid enough attention to what you were doing, etc. Maybe you didn't get proper advice. So those are the things that are actually very you have to be very careful in considering as well.
So, viewers, if you are actually looking for the advice which can actually shape your future and take you to the permanent residency, right, we request you to speak to any of the registered migration agent. And if you're interested in speaking to Saurabh, you can actually give us a call at 04300 Well, this is the last Friday of November, and from the team of Global Vision Migration, well, we need to say that see you next Friday.
Yep. See you guys next Friday. See you in December, last month of 2020. Let's wait for 2020 to end so that we can have a good 2021.
Yeah, let's hope for a good number, 21.
All right. Goodbye, everyone. Enjoy your weekend.
Enjoy your weekend.